Excellent. Next, I would like to invite Embraer Commercial Aviation's Chief Commercial Officer, Martin Holmes, to the stage. Martin, thanks for being a diamond sponsor of this event and such an important part of our community. We appreciate Embraer's long-time partnership with the RAA, it goes back decades, and for helping to ensure that this event is a success. So please join me in offering a warm welcome to our friend, Martin Holmes.
Thank you, Faye. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of familiar faces. Thanks for giving me, I think, the next 15 minutes, right? So blast through. Look, it's an honor to welcome all of you to this prestigious event. So many great speakers and so many great stakeholders here and leaders of the industry. Here I'm going to do 15 minutes of basically celebrating the progress we continue to achieve in regional aviation. Of course, we have the ongoing challenges we face, but we're committed to embrace shaping and the future of our industry. Each one of us as leaders has to look to the future. Embrace the past, but look to the future. Over the past few years, regional aviation industry has encountered significant challenges. Operators have struggled with pilot and technician shortages, rising operational costs, aging fleets, while still striving to be competitive. Never an easy equation to solve. Despite these obstacles, you constantly need to overcome. Regional remains the backbone of connectivity. In North America, there's over 1,800 markets operated by regional carriers. 1,800. Your role in bridging the gaps between large metropolitan areas and smaller, underserved communities cannot be overstated. And I deal with many airlines, from regional carriers to big integrated carriers, whether it's Singapore or IAG, but one thing I always admire with regional carriers globally is your tenacity and ingenuity. That tenacity and ingenuity is what brings everyone in this room together, right? It sets you apart. Let's see if I can operate this. There we go. When we look at air travel in the US, and we've just got some basic data here, if we especially consider the big three main airlines, we see that regional services are indispensable. You know that, but what are some of the stats that go behind that? Carriers account for nearly 60% of US market capacity, and without regional partners, many routes would either be underserved or completely inaccessible. In fact, 1 in 5 domestic city pairs can only be served with regional-sized aircraft due to the demand profile. It's not rocket science. When it comes to airports operated in that domestic network of the big three, approximately half, 50% of all airports are served exclusively by regional carriers, ensuring that even the most remote and underserved areas remain connected in the United States. So regionals are bringing immense value to international travel as well. Data shows 1 in 5 passengers rely on regional aircraft to connect international flights. So you, we, all of you are connecting America to the world, enabling small communities to thrive, and ultimately strengthening economic and social development throughout the United States and the world. But not only that, you're also expanding. The number of new regional growth, basically 2 out of 3 new markets of growth come from regional airlines in the last 10 years. 2 out of 3. Now I know there's been challenges. There's been moments where it's gone down to 50%, but ultimately, you guys are fueling growth. And that's testament to the adaptability and importance of regional aviation in supporting the evolving needs of passengers through the broader ecosystem. As we've gone into a post-COVID world, we've talked about satellite cities and Zoom cities, and but you've been doing that for a long time, not just since COVID. And talking to some of you out there in the market, it's strengthening. So it's undeniable how crucial the regional market is to North America and to the world. And you'll probably say, well, I know that. But I think not everybody knows that. We know it, we're working it. But I think it's great for people to appreciate quite what you do and what your partners do in supporting the United States and supporting small communities. Now, Embraer, we're this year celebrating our 55th anniversary. And we'd like to reaffirm our strong belief in the relevance of the regional aircraft sector across North America. If we go back to the first Embraer 120, the Brasilia, that was to express jet back in 1985. I think I was still in short trousers back then. Regional operation in the US was about to change. No one knew back then that it would. And the Brasilia's played an important role. But the sector really took off with the advent of the ERJ aircraft family. ExpressJet again back in 1996 was the first customer to go into service, and over 700 ERJs delivered into North America since then. And today there's still hundreds of ERJs flying around. But then in 2004, the E-Jets arrived. And for those who think 2004, just because I lived in Connecticut at the time, that was the time the Red Sox won the World Series. It was a very impressive time there for us. That set a new benchmark. We all know what the E-Jets did. It set a new benchmark in the industry. And today we have delivered over 750 E-Jets into this market. And we have over 180 on backlog already. Okay, so well done us, well done you, congrats. But we keep moving forward, and harking back to my Connecticut days as well. To stand still is to fall behind, as a certain Mr. Twain once said. And Embraer will continue to be committed to the investment and improvement of our aircraft. That's part of our role, and I'll go into other roles. But if someone could press the next slide, my button isn't working. There we go. So earlier this year in Farnborough at the Farnborough Air Show, we announced further enhancements to the 175, tailored to meet the evolving needs of our customers, be it our airline customers, our carrier customers, and our passenger customers, and meet your expectations. So this commitment is a broader strategy to ensure that our regional aircraft remain at the forefront of performance, efficiency, and passenger satisfaction. So first and foremost, and I'm not sure how many people appreciate quite how sexy overhead bins can be, but they can be very, very interesting. And here on the 175 now, we now make available what we have on the E2, which essentially doubles the capacity of the overhead bins. You can now put your bag in wheel first. Naturally, not rocket science now. Now you've got one bag per person. It makes a fundamental difference, especially with connecting passengers, as I connect all the time in my job of just traveling on the road. It makes a massive difference. Mood lighting to increase the passenger experience on board and give you that bit statement as a mainline carrier. New Recaro seat options are available, together with valuable things like USB-C. Something that was a luxury in the past now becomes an expectation in the future. New satellite internet connectivity solutions offering KU and KA bands. I think we used to say that you didn't need connectivity if you're only flying off for an hour or so. Now it seems to be withdrawal symptoms for people for more than 10 minutes. We're improving some of the system components, so upgraded weather radars, data transfer solutions, high-speed reset buttons, all enhancements to the operational capability of this aircraft. And performance improvements for Aspen that will enable the 175 to deliver enhanced levels of operation at that crucial airport. These improvements will enable the mainline airlines to deliver seamless cabin experience for their passengers traveling on the 175 and connecting onto mainline aircraft. Enables them to keep delivering what they want to do, and their enhancement and their involvement and their ability to continue improving their passenger experience. And we remain committed to exploring innovative solutions and balance performance, efficiency, and of course sustainability. And let's be honest, Embraer built its reputation on engineering and customer excellence. And that will never cease. We'll always be focused on that. Some of you may ask, okay, with all these enhancements on the 175, what about the 175E2? The 175 is our main core for this market. Yes, the 175E2 represents the next generation of regional aircraft as part of the E2 family. And this is an E2 family that's been successfully brought into operation now since 2018. And we include customers like Scoot at Singapore Airlines, KLM, Azul. I was recently down in Perth in Australia, announcing Virgin Australia was bringing back the 190 into their operation, actually initially starting over in the western part of Australia for regional. And of course, Porter up in Canada, flying the 195E2. So yes, the 175E2 is part of that high efficiency, sustainable family. But despite the unmatched environmental benefits, unless the scope clause moves, right, our focus is on the 175. Simple. Okay? And as you can see, we mean what we say. These enhancements are there to show you we mean what we say. We will keep focusing on the 175. But not only that, do we look at the products we have now, we also have a role as an OEM, an obligation, and all of us as OEMs in this room, we have an obligation to look at the horizon of technology. That's our commitment, all of us, to you. And I'd like to just look at that horizon right now. As I mentioned, we're leveraging over 55 years and a leadership in the segment below 150 seats. This is our segment. And alongside our customers, suppliers, and stakeholders, we're all fully committed to the future of sustainable aviation. And these two projects I want to mention, these groundbreaking projects here are Energia and Eve Air Mobility Solutions. Now, first and foremost, the future of aviation must have lower impact, lower emissions, lower noise, lower fuel consumption, as we all must accept the challenge of industry-wide goals to get to net carbon zero by 2050. Okay? And I know many people in this room, be there our customers, be it other OEMs, we're all trying to work towards that. Okay? To achieve this, we basically have to explore a wide range of bold, but has to be viable aircraft designs in our Energia concepts. So what we're doing, we're reimagining, conceptualizing, a lot of isings there, everything from the power source to the shape of the airframe, okay? And in the summer, again, we announced evolutions of Energia, and we expanded the research into 50-seat aircraft from the previous focus on 30 seats, okay? And we've expanded research to include hydrogen gas turbine dual fuel, in addition to what we were already looking at, which was hydrogen, electric, and fuel cell technologies. Now, these evolutions originate actually from the Energia Advisory Board, which some of you here in the audience have actually kindly been involved in, and I thank you for your time and commitment into that project. And you can see we're listening, okay? Now, it's a challenge to evolve this technology. Right? It's one thing to bring something to the field that's technically viable, but it has to work within the infrastructure, the ecosystem of the supply chain, and it has to be with the regulatory environment. But once we evolve and we understand the infrastructure, the commercial, and the regulatory environment, we see that it is viable. It is viable to bring this to market in the next decade. So I think it's for those coming on board, we talked about people coming out of university and engineers now. They're starting to work on some very exciting projects, okay? And I think ultimately we feel that we can have a responsibility and a leadership in that space. Now, on the other hand, we have Eve, which represents our commitment in the broader Embraer family to urban air mobility. Now, earlier this year, actually in July, we unveiled the full-scale prototype of that. And there's been a lot of announcements about partnerships. And if you get time to look into Eve and eVTOL, it's more a game than just technology. You have to understand how this will be integrated into the ecosystem, how it will work with air traffic management, how you're going to work it with mainline carriers, how's it going to work, is question marks on will it be operated by carriers or airports, how does that work? But we're starting to move now closer to that 26, 27 time frame where a lot of these eVTOL guys are needing to put the aircraft out there, or eVTOLs out there. So with these forward-thinking projects, Embraer is leading the charge with our customers towards a more sustainable and innovation aviation industry, ensuring the future of flight is efficient, environmentally responsible. And I'd just like to reaffirm, in closing, Embraer's passion and dedication for regional aviation sector. And for those who know Embraer, they know that passion is a word that we use a lot in Brazil to define kind of who we are, right? And we are passionate about aviation, right? It's one of the reasons I think Embraer has been so successful. It means a lot to everybody in Embraer what we do. We're not just facing challenges, we're looking to forge a path to a more connected, sustainable, and dynamic future. And I thank you all for your continued support, and I look forward to talking to many of you around the course of today and tomorrow, and hearing how you feel we can advance, how we can do better, right, and how we can work together. That's important. And finally, I'd like to thank the RAA for letting me have the stage. I think I've kept pretty much on time, I think it. And I think, to echo what was said earlier, we all know and we appreciate the work that Faye and your team does in bringing this together, right? The vision the RAA provides, the expertise in bringing this event together, it's not easy, and to get so many important stakeholders. So congratulations to you and your team for this whole event.
Thank you again, Martin, for those remarks and for your passion for our shared industry. We certainly appreciate your support.